Hello, guys. Today we are going to be going over our December monthly budget. So let's go ahead and get started. Mm, let's see. All right. Let's move this over. Let's use this nice pink. And let's get y'all positioned right. All right. December monthly budget. All right, guys. So if you have not watched our 2026 goals, um, I would watch that one before I watch this. But everything that you see here is going to kind of reflect our goals that we talked about in that video. If you don't want to watch it, you can kind of tell what our goals are as we do the budget. All right. So our two goals for December. The first one is to put at least 1,000 to the Wells Fargo loan. Our second goal is to I'll just put it on top because 200 to our safety binder. And I didn't put a envelope like last month because it doesn't matter what envelope we're in our safety binder. We need to put $200 in there regardless. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. It is December, and as I mentioned in our last video, we will be getting a bonus this month. I don't know exactly how much the bonus would be, so I'm kind of lowballing it just a little bit just to be on the safe side. So our income for this month, we are planning to receive $6,609. We're going to start with our bills. All right. We have our rent, which is $1,053. I think this is the last month that it will be this price because our renewal begins in January, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so our phones, $66. Our car insurance is $220. We are going to invest $150. And then it is the month, so we do our investment updates. I think it's the first page. We're gonna do our investment updates every 6 months, so July and December. So we will be doing an investment update in our closeout for December. Saying it so that I can remember. All right, and then our lights, we plan for 170. And our Wi-Fi is 132. Our subscriptions, 170. And I ended up adding in our life insurance into subscriptions. We did start a gym membership. So my husband and I, we started going to the gym together. So yeah. And then we do have our cabin trip, which we're going to put aside $400 for this trip, but we definitely won't be using that whole 400, but we'll put it in our vacation envelope. Whatever we do not spend to go towards our vacation in June. All right, so should we calculate this? Yeah, let's calculate it. I'm already kind of zoomed in like the perfect angle. So we'll calculate it in a minute. All right, so we're gonna come on down and we are going to do our let's do our binders. Yeah, let's just come down a little bit. All right, so for our binders, so our future binder, we're putting 450 in there, and that's mostly for vacation. So we are saving monthly for our vacation so that we have the funds to go on the vacation and pay for everything. And then our safety binder, per our goal, we are going to do $200. And then our living binder, we'll calculate that in just a second. And then our bills binder. So for our bills, we are going to put the rollover in there. Not rollover. We're going to put the rest of the money in our budget in there. And whatever is extra money we get, if our bonus is more, we'll also put it into the bills binder. So the bills binder is this binder where we're trying to have 1 month of bills for our emergency fund. So the next envelope is the light bill, which is, why is that like that? Hold on. Now there it is. Our next envelope is the light. Oh no, it's not. It's not the light bill. It's the internet bill, which is $132. So want to at least just make sure we put that in there. All right. So let's go ahead and calculate how much our bills are, and then we'll calculate how much we're going to put into our living binder. I almost want to put, okay. So our bills, we have 1,053, 66, 220, 150, 170, 132, 170, 400. All right, so $2,361. And I'm just gonna write it at the top. I know this might be a little weird, but just in case we have to add stuff on the bottom, I want to be able to write stuff in. All right. So now let's go ahead and do our future binder. Oh no, before I do the future binder, I need to see how much we're going to put into the living binder. So let's just real quick. Okay, so the first envelope is groceries, of course. Groceries is getting $750, so I don't even need to look at that one. Buffer, we're gonna skip that one. Gas is going to get gas. Okay, gas is gonna get 160, and then because we 100 for the month, and we're building a buffer in gas, so that's why it's so high. 100 for the month, and then 60 just in case we need it for traveling. Laundry, we're gonna plan for 20, and then household will get its 200. Yeah, $1,130. All right, so yeah, let's go with that. So $1,130. $30. All right. So I would calculate binders at the end. I'll calculate binders at the end because we have to see how much is left over for bills. All right. Now we can do the spending, and so our spending, we're just gonna continue 200 per person per paycheck, and then our giving 125. All right, so that is 925. 8 plus 1 is 9. Okay. We can go down to our debt. So I'll make that section here. So we have our Wells Fargo credit card. We're going to do $100. And then we have our student loan, which the minimum is $288 now because one of them is paid off. And then that is one thing I will say that I was very impressed with the student loans is like the minimum payment going down. Like, yes, get us out of the 300s for student loans because it's ridiculous. All right, and then our Wells Fargo loan. So our goal is to put $1,000. So we're gonna do $375, which is the minimum payment, and then 1,000 minus 375. Can y'all even see what I'm doing? You cannot. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right, so 1,000 minus 375 is 625. So we have to put 625 for it to be $1,000. And I know this equals 1,000. I would write it right here, but just in case we put more, I want to leave that space open for the closeout when we're writing in the actual. So let's calculate debt. All right, so we have 100 plus 288 plus 1,000. So $1,388 is going to debt. $1,388. All right, so now let's go ahead and see how much is left to go to our bills binder. All right, so we have our income, $6,609 minus our bills, $2,361 minus $925 minus $1,388 minus 450 minus 200 minus $1,130. All right, so we have $155 going into our bills binder. $155 going into our bills binder. I'm gonna run through it one more time and I'll just speed it up because I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that this is actual factual. All right, so 1,935 is going into our binders. So $6,609 minus $2,361 minus 925 minus $1,388 should leave us with 1,935. All right, so that is correct. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you like this video, consider giving it a like, and I will see you guys next time.